Montel Williams, one of television's most recognizable talk show hosts, has written a book. It's called Living Well Emotionally, Breakthrough to a Life of Happiness, and it is out today in paperback. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Montel.
You know, it's out today in hardback. As a matter of fact, it comes out on January 6th in hardback.
Okay.
This is my 8th book. This will end up hopefully being my 5th bestseller. And I wrote this book because a lot of people understand, you know, I have MS, and I suffer from MS, and one of the main symptoms of MS is depression, and a lot of people talk about depression, and I really sat down to write a book about how to journey through and navigate depression, but ended up understanding that it really has nothing to do with that. It's more about how to figure out how to gain some happiness in your life. And so the research flipped the corner, and we started really looking at this, and I started thinking about it really hard and came up with a couple of paradigms that I use in my own life that I thought would help other people. Because, you know, about 9 years ago when I got diagnosed with MS, I attempted suicide twice, wrote about it in my book, Climbing Higher. I took a journey for about 7 or 8 years with people telling me, oh, you're depressed, you're clinically depressed, take this, take that, take this, take that. And I started realizing, I started living down to that expectation that I was depressed. It was almost like a badge of courage across my chest. Montel's depressed. No. Montel just needed to figure out how to regain some happiness and deal with life and deal with normal things that take place. And as soon as I learned how to do that, I decided to share it with other people.
We hear you say that you were depressed. And that's a surprise. You know how people see you?
Sure.
You are a good-looking guy. You hope this will be your 5th bestseller, successful TV career. Yet in your book, this quote struck me. I am a 52-year-old bald-headed black guy who is looking for work. In the past year, I've been fired from my job as a TV talk show host for 7 years. I have a disease.
17 years.
17 years. I have a disease with no known cause, no cure, and no way to control the pain.
And I lived through that. But at the same time, you know, my issues are no greater than anybody else's in this country. Right now, we're living through what we're calling an economic depression. Now, truthfully, this economic depression was really kind of triggered by a national depression, psychological depression. We've not admitted to half the issues and problems that we've had. We've been dealing with war for 10 years, walking around trying to figure out how we're going to elevate everybody's lifestyle. No, what we should be figuring out right now is how to fix this. If we can fix what's going on in here, with the majority of us, I think we can figure out a lot of other ways to fix a lot of other problems that we have.
There's no one who can tell me that a positive outlook doesn't matter. My mom has MS like you, and she's my model. I mean, she stays positive, and I see the difference in her from it.
The great thing about this book is I and Bill Doyle, who's my co-writer, researched some of the greatest minds of this century, some of the most recent research that's out there right now about how you can actually define happiness. And you know, happiness is really something that we have more control over than we think. 50%, you're born with a quotient. About 50% of that is locked in. You will have a happiness level. 10% of that happiness is affected by things that go on around you, but 40% of it you can change. If you're depressed right now, we're going through this economic downturn. People are losing their homes. There are some people that are still walking around with a smile on their face. Why? Because they're practicing some tools that can help us all when it's depression time or positive time.
You mentioned so many tips in your book for how to stay happy, but I want to show just 5.
Sure,
if we may. Put them up on the screen for people. This is ways that you can be happy in 2009. Let gratitude be your attitude.
Absolutely.
Practice kindness. Savor the beauty of the little things. Nurture your spiritual self. Learn to let go and forgive.
Learn to let go and forgive.
In the last 20 seconds, which one would you say has been most key for you?
Last 20 seconds, let's say learn to let go and forgive, but I got to throw one up there. You own the definition of who you are. If people tell you you're depressed, you're going to be depressed. You walk around telling yourself you're depressed, you will be depressed. You can spin yourself out of a cycle, out of a hole. You can pull yourself right back up by just exercising and practicing positive thoughts. One last thing, every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things that you did today that's worth talking about tomorrow.
All right. Montel, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Good to see you doing so well.